Here it is, guys. This is another 2025 Kia K5 that I'm bringing on my channel. This time, this is the base trim level. But I got to tell you, watch this video because you'll find some of the features on this vehicle that are standard on it that you will not even find as available on the competitors, such as Honda Accord, Toyota Camry, or Nissan Altima. So today, thanks to Gettle Kia of Bradenton, I'm going to take on a complete tour of this vehicle. We're going to check it out from the outside, inside, technology, and the test drive. So if you like watching videos like this, don't forget to check out the rest of my channel. If you like it, hit that like and subscribe button. Now let's get back to this. And right away, starting with the front end of this vehicle, you can see the LED daytime running lamps / turn signals glowing nicely in this amber color. And we have a LED reflector headlight, something that's not offered on the base model on the Toyota Camry. Look down here, you have the open air curtains helping with air channeling and better aerodynamics. And we also have this piano black grille right on top, big Kia logo. And the only added option on this vehicle is actually the color. They call it snow white pearl color, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's a lot of metal flakes and they're nice and shiny. And let's take a look and see what powers up this thing. Let's check this out, guys. First thing first, even the base model have the hood struts on both sides, making opening this hood really easy. We have some sound insulation, and underneath the hood, we have the same engine as we've seen on the GT line and the EX trim, and that is a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine producing 191 horsepower and 181 pound-feet of torque, made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and I'm really excited to see how it drives at the end of this video. Now let's take a look at a side profile of this K5. It's looking nice, sporty, elegant. I think it's the best design out of all the midsize sedans that I've seen. Let's take a look at the wheel and tire setup. On the base K5 LXS, we have the 16-inch alloy wheels painted in this glossy black color. Of course, we have all-wheel disc brakes all around, and the size of the tires, 205/65 on 16-inch rim. Now, as far as the mirrors, you have the painted caps in the same color of the vehicle. And now that the sun is shining, let's see. Can you see this metal flakes in here? Nice and shiny. I like it. We don't have the turn signals or the cameras here, but we do have a blind spot assist as a standard equipment, even on the base model. Top of the windows are surrounded by this chrome trim that continues all around this vehicle. And one other feature that you won't find on the base Toyota Camry is the smart entry system. Push the button as long as the key is somewhere on you. You can lock or unlock it. It does have that proximity function on the key. And let's take a look in the back, because here we have the brand new tail lamps. I like them. They look really nice and sharp, very bright as well. Here you can see these are all LEDs right on top. We have the Kia logo in the middle, also the rear view camera, and the trunk releases right there. At the bottom, you'll find the incandescent reverse lights. That's the only incandescent part about it. And the bottom of the bumper is the diffuser style. And instead of having the real exhaust tips, we have the trim that looks like one. And check this out, guys. This is the remote that you'll get with this Kia K5. So it's the same thing as you have on the higher trim levels. We have the lock, unlock, hold to release the trunk, which I'm going to do right now, as well as the panic button. And check this out. In the back, you have the hold for the remote start. Standard equipment, even on the base trim level. Right on top of this trunk lid, you have the handle to pull it down. And as far as the space in here, over 15 cubic feet of storage, which is the biggest in its class. You have 2 levers to help you fold down the seats, and the seats have the 60/40 split. Now, you do have a temporary use spare tire and the tools to remove it with, and this is all that's inside this trunk compartment. Before getting inside, let's take a look at this rear door panel here. This is all hard plastic. However, there's this nice trim that kind of breaks it up, and you have the padded armrest, window control, and a little bit more storage at the bottom of the door. Non-branded stereo. You have K5 on the door sill. Let's take a look what's going on inside. So cloth covered seats. They look durable, they feel good, not too bad. In the middle, you have the armrest with the cup holders, and both seats have some seat back storage. Now, just like on the GT line, you don't have your rear vents in the console. There are some vents underneath the seats. I'm not sure how well they work. And underneath here, you have two USB Type-C ports. And let's see if I have in the room inside of it. Well, guys, I'm 5'11" and about a quarter. So let's see if I can fit inside. And no problems here. Plenty of knee room, plenty of headroom, and plenty of shoulder room. But I have to admit, this is the case in all of the new midsize sedan. That includes, of course, the Toyota Camry, Honda Accord, and Nissan Altima. So no shortage of room in the back here. Let's see what's going on in the front. Yeah, of course, before we get inside, let's listen to the sound of the closing door. Boom, that's nice and solid. That's probably about 7 or 8 out of 10. That's pretty good in my book. And the front door panel. Now we have some soft touch material, including this top trim over here. This is the same as in the back, the polished aluminum trim. This is harder plastic and a nicely trimmed armrest. Now we have the window mirror lock controls here, more storage, and the speaker on the door. Again, you have the K5 on the door sill. Now, this is a base trim, so you'll have the manual adjustments for the seats for the driver and passenger, of course. But once you adjust it, you really don't have to move it much. And then if we have the same cloth fabric material as we've seen in the back. Now, let's jump inside. I'll show you the rest of this interior. And check it out, guys. This is a base trim level. Can you believe it? Now, you get standard 12.3-inch screen. We'll get to the functionality of it in just a little bit, but this is something that you have to pay extra on Toyota, not even available on Honda Accord. And let's take a look and see what we have as far as the dashboard right here. You have this multi-tier dashboard. This is a little softer material. You have the same trim as on the door. Nice big vents blowing cold air. And right here, this huge bezel actually houses 2 screens. This is very similar to the GT line, but not exactly the same. Let's start with the steering wheel. Now, we don't have any leather wrapping on here, but again, this is a base trim, the GT line. You'll get the leather wrapped steering wheel, big Kia logo, and then we have different buttons on each side. So we have the mode and start button. Both of these can be customized in your infotainment system. Then we have the voice control, volume control, and a phone connect. Now we have the menu button. I'm going to go over some functionality of it in just a little bit. Cruise control, adaptive cruise control, which is standard on all the models right now, and lane keep assist. Now, Kia says that it's a 4.2-inch display. Even though this is digital as well, they are referring to this tiny little screen right in the middle here. And let's see as far as the functionality what we have. So now we have the trip, lane keep assist, tire pressure, drive to display, and back to trip. So not a whole lot of customization within the trip. You can have trip A, trip B, since last reset, auto stop, pause, transmission conditions not met. I'm in park, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, because you have to be in drive, I guess. So you have the sign recognition. This is a standard equipment right here. I'm going to point this out. 95 degrees outside, and the vehicle's got 13 miles. On the right-hand side, you have a tachometer, left-hand side speedometer. Well, let's move on to the infotainment. And on the first look, this infotainment system looks exactly like we've seen on the higher trim levels. There's one slight difference. We don't have a built-in navigation. You have to use your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, which, by the way, you can connect either via a USB cable or wirelessly, which is a really nice feature to get. By the way, this is all standard equipment. Now, as far as the radio, we have FM, AM, and Sirius XM. These are your sources. Go back to the home screen. Valet mode, vehicle diagnostics, maintenance notifications, online manual, and setup. And that's where you can customize a lot of this vehicle settings. That includes your buttons that I mentioned, like on the steering wheel, custom button on audio on steering wheel, and up and down buttons on the steering wheel as well. They can be set up to any of the functions that are listed on the right-hand side. So depending on what you use the most, this can give you a nice shortcut for it. Go back to the settings. Another thing I want to point out is it does have the cluster theme selection. We're going to link it to the drive mode, and basically it doesn't do much changes. Somebody asked me that in the other video, so let's take a look and see if I change the drive mode to sport. The only difference you see is the different color in the background turns red, and both my drive and normal kind of look this brownish, which kind of looks the same. No difference to me. And let's go back. You have the content selection. So the only two things that you can turn on is the wiper lights display and the IC road warning. Both of them are turned on right now. And this is pretty much it. The general settings, device connections, sound, vehicle, user profile, screen layout, and display. Let's take a look at the display. I mean, the brightness, camera settings, and blue light filter. We can turn this on. Actually, it's easier on your eyes, and then it doesn't look much different, but I guess it's safer for you if you don't look at this blue light for a long period of time. One other thing, since we're here, put it in reverse, and let's take a look and see what we have. A good looking camera takes out about 2/3 of the screen. Kind of wish that it took out most of it, if not all of it. And we have the 3 different camera angles. Most of the competitors have 2. So wide angle, top down view, and the narrow angle. And we're going to leave it in the regular narrow angle. Active trajectory lines. And this is your rear view camera. Scrolling down here. So this is a screen of dual purpose, as I call it, right? This can control your volume and power to the radio. Then we have the shortcut buttons, home, map, search, seek, track, media, star, and setup. And we have file and tune on the other side. Now, if we hit this little button at the bottom, we're going to go to the climate control. And I want to point out that dual zone climate control is standard, and this is the automatic climate control. Again, something that you don't find on the competitors, and we have that as a standard equipment on this LXS trim. And down below, you'll find the charging station with one of the USB ports that can be used for charging or charging and data, depending on which one you choose. This is for charging on, and we have the regular 12-volt power outlet. No wireless charging on the base model. We have 2 big cup holders. We have the automatic start stop feature button that you can turn that off if you'd like to, or turn it on. Auto hold for your brakes, electronic parking brake. This turns on your camera, and we can turn on or off your parking sensors. Regular shifter, regular drives, able to do it manually. If you shift it all the way down and put it to the left, you can shift the gears manually. Now, drive mode selector is right here, and more storage in this middle compartment. Up on top, regular mirror. Okay, we don't have a home link system here. We do have the Kia Connect and emergency services, and the lights are not LED. This is just the regular lights. I think both the EX, well, the GT line had it added, but the EX had it as standard equipment for the LED lights inside. Now, the mirror that turns on the illumination that's up on top. There you go. And this is the interior of this 2025 Kia K5 LXS. Let's touch on the pricing, because you'll be surprised. This is the least expensive out of them all, and take it for a spin. So check this out, guys. I think you're going to be really impressed with the price of this vehicle. Starts at $26,990. This one has actually 2 features added on it. One of them is the color, the Snow White Pearl at $495. The other one is the carpeted floor mats at $185. Total MSRP with destination. Let's take a look. $28,825. That's less that Honda Accord or Toyota Camry, and it's got more features on it. Now, we don't have this screen as a standard equipment on Honda Accord. That's not even available. With Toyota, you have to spend $700. I'm not even sure if you can get it on the LE trim, but you have to spend extra for that 14-inch screen. And wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, that's a plus as well. We have the dual zone climate control. We have the aluminum wheels. We have the hood struts, which is a silly thing, but neither Honda Accord or Toyota Camry has it. And it's just so much more convenient, especially popping the hood open. Now, how is it differ from the GT line that I've done as a first Kia K5 on this channel? Well, it doesn't have some features that the GT line has. Well, first thing that you'll know is the GT line has the power driver seat, and this one doesn't. It also has the Syntex cover seats, which is the man-made leather. This one has the cloth seats. We also don't have the sound-absorbing side windows. We also only have the sound-absorbing windshield on the LXS. Doesn't have the leather-wrapped steering wheel, which we have on the GT line. It still has the dual zone climate control, no rear vents in either one of them. The GT line has the heated seats. This one doesn't. So there are a few options that if you like them, you might consider looking at the higher trim level. And the GT line starts at $27,990. So really for $1,000 more, you're getting quite a few options in here. Then the next trim is the GT. That's $33,090. By the way, the GT line is available with all-wheel drive too. But the GT is the one with the more powerful engine. That one no dealers have as of right now. And then the EX model, $34,490. If you'd like to see any of those videos, the GT line or the EX, I'm going to link both of them at the end of this one so you can check it out and see if you can compare the features and like any of the other ones better. Let's take it for a quick spin, although I suspect it's going to drive exactly the same as the GT line and the EX. It has the same engine, transmission, and suspension. The only difference that I could feel with this one is the tires. Let's take a look. First of all, we do a little twist and turns here as far as the suspension. I like it. It's kind of in the middle, as far as the suspension. I'm going to put it in the sport mode and see if the steering wheel gets heavier a little bit. That I felt the difference more on the GT line. Well, I think it's the same tuning. Maybe it's just a different perception right now. But the steering wheel gets a little bit heavier with the sport drive mode. And I'm going to do the acceleration test. Okay, I mean, it's good. It's okay. I mean, it's not the greatest. And finally, we're going to go and check out the turning radius. Turn the steering wheel all the way to the left, and we do 1, 2, 3, 4 parking spots to turn this vehicle fully around, which is not bad at all. Let's take it for a quick test drive and see how that feels. One thing that I feel right away, I actually think I like these tires better. I mean, they're not as sporty tires. We don't have the, I believe those are the Continentals that Kia uses on them, either Continentals or Pirellis. But this feels good. Okay, you definitely feel like you have much more cushion, much more bubble on this tire, so a lot more sidewall. They feel more comfortable as well. Origin traffic. No issues. There is a bit of a difference with the sound absorbing glass. I believe the GT line and the EX that have it, you can feel the difference as far as hearing the road noise. And because of those tires are slightly different, I think they also produce a little bit more of a road noise that I heard on the GT line and the EX. But nevertheless, it's not bad. It's not something that's very noticeable on the regular drive. And again, if that's something that you would like corrected, it's $1,000 difference, and you can get that plus many more features. I gotta tell you, this vehicle stopped right now, and the AC like almost turned off. And now as I start driving, it gets more power. So the AC, the fan went from 1 to 3, so it gives me a little bit more of that cool air. Never noticed that before, but that's actually a very smart setting on this vehicle. Well, one thing that I get asked a lot is, which one would you choose if you were to buy a midsize sedan? And, my answer is going to be the same. It's going to depend on what you need it for, right? So first of all, if you compare this versus Hyundai Sonata, for example, it's going to be the design that's mostly going to be the factor for you. And I can't tell you which one to like better because that's very subjective. But for the most part, they are very close, almost identical vehicles. If you're looking between this and Toyota Camry, my question would be, well, how many miles per year do you drive? Because if you drive a lot, this has a 30 miles per gallon as far as the average. And Toyota Camry's got 47. Actually, on the LE, it has 50. So it's a huge difference. That's 20 miles per gallon difference. And it also has a slightly more powerful engine. So in that case, if you drive a lot, Toyota Camry would be my choice. The third competitor is the Honda Accord. And I'm a Honda person. I've owned 6 Hondas in the last 20 years. And I hate to say it, but this would be my choice versus Honda Accord. Even though I've never had an issue with my Honda, but there's really not much about this new Accord, especially in the base trim, that wows me, that would tell me that, hey, you know, this is the one. Even though some of the publications might not agree with me because they call the Accord the most sensible sedan. And then there's a question of reliability. Now, I don't own a Kia. I do have a few friends that own some, and the older models, the newer models. I also received quite a few comments on the previous video. So if you want to watch it and read through that, there's several people who owned Kias for years and they never had issues. There are some of them that had some issues with that, but nothing catastrophic happened. So I think the reliability has improved on the Kia since they came into the United States. I remember when they were just this biodegradable vehicles, as I call them. They basically self-destructed in a few years. Not such a thing anymore. Plus, Kia covers their vehicle with the best in industry warranty right now, and that's 10 years, 100,000 miles. That's a standard feature on all the brand new Kias and Hyundai models. So if they were producing junk, they would go out of business just fixing the issues on the cars. Well, the time will tell whether this is the most reliable car, but JD Power and Associates claims it's the most reliable vehicles out there. Definitely a huge contender in the segment. For the price, you can't beat it. With Toyota Camry, the difference between this and the comparably equipped Camry would be about $4,000. With Honda Accord, between this and the comparably equipped Honda Accord, you'd have to step up to the EX model, and even on that, you wouldn't be able to get that screen on the EX model that you're getting on this. So if technology is your thing and you like the looks of it, I would definitely consider the new K5. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Let me know what would you choose and why. And if you learned something from this video or you liked it, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Turn on that bell notification ring bell, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.